reviewing different aspects of classroom discourse. With me, Waliatul Jannah. Among different types of discourse, classroom discourse is a special type of discourse that occurs between teacher and students and among the students in classrooms, according of Noonan 1993. Classroom discourse largely consists of explanations, instructions, descriptions, and arguments. Furthermore, the form and function of classroom discourse is often different from other types of discourse used in other situations because of the specific social roles of teachers and students, as well as the kind of activities which they perform there. Due to the importance of classroom discourse in educational setting, this study attempts to review different aspects of classroom discourse. Classroom discourse. According from Kranz 1985, cited in Ellis 1990, page 86, considers classroom discourse as composed of a continuum extending from pedagogic to natural discourse poles. Pedagogic discourse occurs when teachers and their students fulfill their institutional roles. Texts are about the exchange and reception of information controlled by the teacher. Additionally, knowledge as product and accuracy are emphasized. Furthermore, pedagogic discourse has its own special components. According to Mehan 1979, cited in Ellis 1990, presented three structural components of a pedagogic discourse, including an opening phase where the students are prepared for learning a lesson, an instructional phase which is about the exchange of information between teacher and students, and a closing phase where students are reminded of the main points of a lesson. Natural discourse, on the other hand, occurs when more fluid roles are established through interaction. The equal participation and negotiation of meaning are focused in the text, designs, and the interactional process and fluency are emphasized. Therefore, the interaction between the participants of a classroom moves between the two poles of this continuum. Classroom discourse in traditional and non-traditional classes. In classroom context, teachers and learners play different roles. In traditional classes, the teachers are dominant, talk more than students, control topics and allocation of turns, usually ask closed questions, and judge the acceptability of the students' responses. Therefore, in traditional classroom, teachers have a great deal of control over the kinds of interactions in the classroom. Besides, teachers make a number of decisions which are mostly made in advance. Lesson planning. However, in non-traditional cases, students talk more. Besides, students' self-selection and students' topic expansion are observed more frequently in non-traditional compared to traditional classes. Cody Skidmore, 2000. It is concluded that in non-traditional classes, the dominance of the teachers is somewhat mitigated by giving students opportunity to participate actively in classroom discourse. Back in 1981, cited in Skidmore 2000, page 284. called traditional classroom discourse as authoritative discourse and non-traditional classroom discourse as internally persuasive discourse. Typical pattern of classroom discourse. Classroom interaction between teacher and learners includes different patterns depending on a variety of factors such as teaching style, topic of conversation, and L2 proficiency level of students. Among these patterns, IRF, initiation, response, feedback, is a typical pattern of classroom discourse which is proposed by Sinclair and Coulthard, 1975. In this structure, the teacher initiates asking a question to check learner's knowledge. The learner answers the question and the teacher gives feedback. Thus, in this pattern, the teacher is responsible for carrying out the first initiation turn as well as the third feedback turn of the exchange. Besides, the students are carrying out the second turn or response. Moreover, in this type of interaction, the teachers and the students' roles are predetermined. The teacher acts as an expert who guides or directs the interaction, and the students play a role based on the teacher's decisions about who participates, when, and how much interaction should take place between the teacher and the students. Therefore, the amount and type of interaction, input, or learning that can take place in the classroom are controlled by the teacher. The following example is the typical classroom discourse sequences. Sinclair, Coulthard, 1975. Example: Teacher, what's the capital of France? This is as initiation. Student, Paris. This is as a response. Teacher, yes, Paris. That's right. This is a feedback. Types of language used in EFL classroom. Generally, different types of language can be used in EFL classrooms. According to McTeer, 1975, cited in Ellis, 1994, stated that four types of language can be used in EFL classroom, including mechanical, no exchange of meaning is occurred, meaningful, the contextualization of meaning is focused but no new information is conveyed. Pseudo communication, new information is conveyed, but the language which is used in the classroom is not like language which occurs outside the classroom. And real communication, spontaneous speech resulting from the exchange of opinions, jokes, classroom management, etc. is involved. Classroom talk. Research focusing on classroom talk indicates that in classroom context, different factors work together to influence the way in which meaning is socially constructed between teacher and learners. The common quote regarding the studies is that the language used between teacher and learners in a classroom context is basically different from the talk that occurs outside the classroom. Additionally, in classroom context, meaning is created through social interactions, and talk is important to the way in which knowledge is constructed. Besides, in L2 classroom, language is both the mode of interaction as well as the goal of the learning activity and acquiring the L2, according to Swine, 1997. Therefore, the language which is used in the classroom is not a simple tool for transfer of information, rather it deals with the complicated social, cultural, political, cognitive, and linguistic processes and contexts which are parts of the meaning. Bloom, Power Carter, Morton Christian. Otto and Schuart, 2005. Moreover, in the context of classroom, teacher and learners mutually build knowledge and simultaneously create an appropriate context for learning. Additionally, during oral interactions in the classroom, teacher and learners establish their roles and relationships, according Hall and Walsh 2002, and they decide who says what, when, and how. Conclusion. Generally, it is difficult to generalize about classroom discourse because each class has its own special culture. According Alexander 2001. Furthermore, schools, teachers, and students can be different within different contexts. Additionally, the type of students and teachers discourse, the pattern of talk in classroom, interactional of conversations, politeness strategies, turn-taking pattern, topic management, and the power of solidarity issues can be different in different settings. Therefore, the differences exist in various contexts. The important point is that teachers should make their students aware of these differences and enhance their awareness of how discourse works to make teaching learning experience more effective and involve the students in real-life communication. For this purpose, students need more their mastery of linguistic form of language. They need to develop their communicative competence besides their linguistic competence. They should negotiate meaning. Therefore, it can be influential to talk in the classroom about language use and provide a variety of situations for negotiation of meaning. For example, teachers can ask referential questions and conduct classroom discussions. And thank you.